Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and happy Monday to you all. Yes, guys, Monday. We have to start treating Monday like it's Friday. Like, this is a day that we will never ever see again. So, every day that we're here, we're blessed to be here. So, all glory to God. Thank you. I'm driving right now, so I apologize for any background noise. Guys, I wanted to talk to you all today about your isolation season. Woohoo! No, honey, the isolation season is no joke. The isolation season will have you on your face, honey. But guess what? Count it all joy. It's going to be difficult to count it all joy at the time, but count it all joy, because after your isolation season comes the restoration season. Well, guys, so during your isolation season, there's many things God is going to start removing. That includes people and things. Yes, you're going to be stripped naked. Some of you probably are going through that currently as I speak to you. I'm not, thank you Jesus. I'm in a season of abundance and restoration, but trust me when I tell you, I have had my isolation season, honey. I have been stripped naked. I have been doing, so that's why I can stand here and tell you that after your isolation season and your dark season and all that stuff, your season of lack, the abundance and restoration season is on the way. Count it all joy, because guess what? Even though the isolation season and the season of lack, it drags. Like, it drags. Like, it takes years and years and years and years. And like, that's why we tell people it's so important. This truck just put, really? Okay, you go right on. I'm not even going to blow my horn at you. That's why I tell people that, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. What was I saying? Oh, the isolation season and season of lack, it just drags and drags. Like, it can take years and years and years and years, right? Oh, that's why I tell people to stay in the moment, stay in that day, because what happened is we start thinking too far ahead. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do next month? How am I going to pay, mortgage or rent next month? How am I going to do this? Taxes are due in 6 months. Don't think too far ahead. You will overwhelm yourself, and it will make the process more stressful. In your isolation season, you literally have to stay in the moment. Sometimes it's not even about staying in the day. Sometimes you literally have to stay in the hour. You have to stay in the hour. You got to figure out, what am I going to, not even figure out, because at this point here, you can figure nothing out. It's all on God. So you have to be so secluded, and that's one reason why God do isolate you, so you can hear him better, especially if you don't already know how God communicates with you, because he communicates with all of us differently. Then you will learn that in your isolation season, how you hear from him. For me, one way is, ironically, is in isolation. But you will learn how to hear from him in your quiet season. And he will then instruct you, what to do in that moment, meaning that hour, that day. But I promise you, when you start trying to think about how you're going to pay bills next month, you're going to dig yourself further into darkness. Because it's not designed like that. It's not designed to have you think too far ahead. It's designed to have you depending on God every single inch, every single step of the way. Well, here's the thing. For some reason, the isolation season tarries. It tarries for a long time, right? Because we got to get cleaned up. We have a lot we have to get, we got to clean up a lot. But guess what? When the isolation season is over, it's an immediate shift. It's boom. You will literally still be in your dark season, and you will be thinking, okay, tomorrow just going to be another gloomy day of trying to just wait on God. And it will literally happen overnight. And I'm not exaggerating. Literally out of the blue. You wouldn't even be expecting it. In fact, you have already grown content with being just tired and just like, okay, whatever. And you're going to get to the point where you realize, like, there's nothing I can do on my own. So during the ending of your isolation dark season, because you have given everything you've got, trying to figure it out on your own, trying to do this and make it work, you will learn that nothing you do will make it work. Nothing you do will change it. So during the ending, you will finally get to a place where you just throw your hands up and say, you know what, it is what it is. I'm going to just ride it out, ride the wave. I'm going to just trust God. If it takes another year, I'm just going to trust God. And the minute that happens, the minute you take your hand completely up off of it, the minute that you realize that there's nothing you can do, the minute that you seek every single message, wherever the message or messages, I stress messages, is during that stretch of the isolation season, that is when God will boom. The doors will open overnight. And let me tell you what's going to freak you out. When the doors open, it's not going to be something mediocre. It's not going to be something small. It's going to be a major blessing. The blessing, is going to blow your mind on how big the blessing is and how much money is on the table, or well, it's not even about money all the time, but whatever the things that you're waiting on, it's going to blow your mind how big it is. Because what happens is, during the times that the dark season was just tarrying, God was taking note, taking count, the fact that you trusted him, the fact that you didn't fall into temptation and go back and do the one thing because you were so afraid that you just didn't know how it would work out. So you need to try it on your own way. Because you trusted him, he was taking notes and he was stacking up things and giving you brownie points. So because he now know he can trust you, he's now going to release all of those blessings all at once. So it's going to be major. It's not going to be the job you lost. It's going to be you're not going to be the owner of the company, or you're going to be the supervisor of that job. You're not going to what's the word I'm looking for? I can't lose my train of thought here. I don't know. For lack of better words, again, you're not going back to your old position. You're not going back to making that same amount of money. You're not going back to that same dead-end relationship. You're just not going back to that level. You're going higher now. And so that's why that season took so long. That's why that season broke you down. That season put you on your face. The isolation season is no joke. That season of transition, isolation, darkness, season of lack, whatever you want to call it, that season is no joke. It will break the strongest person down. Now, here's why God starts to remove people. It can be from different reasons. For one, you can have people around you who you love, and it could have been friends or whatever, family, who you love for years and years and years. And because our hearts are designed to love on people, sometimes you won't even realize that the very same people around you is jealous and envious of you, envious of your marriage. Like you don't even realize it. So God is saying, okay, this person is plotting against you now, and they're jealous just for the little things you have. So what's going to happen when I take you higher and I bless you with major blessings? So they can do more damage if I don't remove them now at this level, they're going to do more damage control, when they are able to cross you at the top. So let me snatch them now, okay? I'm going to move people because, for one, you keep depending on people for your answers versus you coming to me. You want to go to everybody, all your friends who may be a little more spiritually inclined to you. You want to go to everybody for revelation. You want to go to everybody for answers. And I had that bad. I won't even lie. Because I didn't really know how to hear from God at that point. So I was going to all my friends and getting answers. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. I do believe God will put people into your lives to help you spiritually. But at a certain time in your life, he's going to need you to know how to come directly to the source. And then the other people might be more of a revelation or more of, confirmation. But you got to go to God first. And so if you're depending on too many people, and you are really making those people your God, not intentionally, but you're making those people your God. So God will strip you of those people. Now, in my personal life, what I realized for me is that just because he removed some people from the isolation season, there's times in the new season, some of those people will come back to you. Okay, everybody's not going to be gone for good. Some people will come back to you, but the relationship will be different. So now it's like, okay, he's bringing these spiritual people back to you, who was able to help you and all that stuff. But now again, it will be confirmation and revelation. And now that you know how to hear from God directly, some things may not even add up. So if I know how to hear from God directly now, and I'm getting a word from God, he's telling me to do something, and now the person I used to get advice from, they're not feeling that. God haven't told them that. Now you got to be very careful, because that can cause rifts in relationships, because now that person is so used to you depending on them and you taking their way, right, respectfully, because it worked in the past. But now that you know how to hear from God, you got to go and do what God tells you to do, regardless of who agrees or who doesn't agree. You have to do what God tells you to do, because now you know how to hear from God. And if you're not careful, and if you're not confident enough to know that you're hearing from God, you will listen to whomever is giving you the advice. And if you mess around and not go for it, whatever it is that God is telling you to do, because of what another person has said, or because the other person hasn't gotten revelation, you're going to miss the blessing. You're going to miss a major, major blessing. So that's very, very important to make sure that you know how to hear from God, or, there's some type of conflicting, conversation between you and one of your spiritual leaders. Make sure you take it back to God, get into deep prayer, deep meditation, fasting, all that stuff, so you can make sure that you are hearing the right, correct answer. All right. So another reason why God will start to remove people is if you're like me, you got a heart of gold and you believe in taking care of everybody, family, friends. You just want everybody to win. You're the one everybody comes to for all the answers, let it be financially, spiritually, wisdom, advice, whatever. Everybody comes to you. That's a beautiful thing, don't get me wrong, especially when you're called to do it, because it fulfills you. But you can't take all that heavy load with you, right? It's okay for the season that you're in now, or what you just came out of, right? Which is just your regular everyday season, all you've ever known. But where God is trying to take you, you can't have all those weights weighing you down. Those family, and unless they're ready to come. Unless they're putting that work in like you, unless they're ready for spiritual growth, unless they're ready for spiritual inclination. If they're ready, then it wouldn't even be a fight. It's almost like, okay, join hands, let's go together. But if it's a constant struggle, you're trying to, make them do this, they're calling you, you're giving them advice, they're doing the complete opposite, then calling you back the next day with all that drama, foolishness, and toxic, and you ask them, well, did you do what I tell you to do? No, listen. So I spent an hour on this phone with you, pouring into you. I spent an hour on this phone with you, praying with you, and told you what to do. You did the complete opposite, got the results that you deserve, and now you want to call me back, waste my time again to fix it. Okay, nah, that ain't happening. Not no more, at least. But that's the type of life I used to live. Like literally. So you have to get to a place where you understand a healthy balance. And yes, that means family. That means especially family. So God will start to remove people who are just going to be a heavy burden to you. Because where he's taking you is going to be a different type of group that he needs you to reach. So you can't reach these people and focus on the blessing and the direction that he needs you to take and to go if you are way down with heavy weights. And it's heavy when you got everybody pulling from you. It's heavy. It really is. So he will start to remove those shackles. And see, God is so good. What he'll do is he'll start to tell you and give you indication that he needs you to start removing certain people, right? He'll tell you, okay, I need you to cut this person off because X, Y, and Z. He'll start giving you clues to remove people. But because our little hearts and our little emotions are all tied up, and because we're so comfortable about what we know, we'll make excuses. Oh, that wasn't God. Or I'm going to give them another chance. So guess what? Because you didn't do what God told you to do, now he's going to let that person hurt you. That person is going to now cheat on you. That friend is going to now betray you. That family member who you took care of all your life is now going to flip the script on you and now side with the other family members, even though you always held this family member down. So what happens is, because we didn't take clues and start removing people when God wanted us to, which would have been the easier route, he will now cause that person to leave you. And let me tell you, it is one of the most hurtful thing that you would have to go through, especially when it was someone who you really took care of and had their back and really looked out for, and that you would have never done that to them. But what happens is we have to realize that really it's not about the betrayal. It is, but it's not. When we're in the flesh, we're focused on how it feels in the flesh. Our emotions are all over the place. Our heart is broken because we're stuck in the fleshly side of it. But in the spiritual side of it, it had to happen. We can't dictate how it happens, right? If we could, we would try to let it be something minor. Well, let me walk away, God. Well, he told you to walk away and you didn't. So we can't dictate how it happens. All we know is that it had to happen. So God is really looking out for us, but we're crying and our little feelings is hurt, and oh my God, he left me for the side chick, or my best friend slept with my whatever happened. We're focusing on the hurt, the betrayal. We're not focusing on the why. It had to happen. These people would have, really crushed you and hurt you at the upper level. They would have stunted your growth. You would never get to where you're going if it didn't happen. And I know it doesn't feel good. Trust me, I've been there, done that. It literally, your soul is broken. Your heart is not broken. Your soul is broken. That's a hurtful feeling. But you have to keep getting up every day, putting one foot in front of the other, trusting God, just trusting God. Keep praying. And what will happen is God will soon, slowly but surely, he will start bringing people into your lives, right? And these are not going to be the right people, to the point that these people are going to pour into you. These people are going to hold your hand and help take you higher because they're already there, or they're on that same level. That what will happen is eventually the people who hurted you, that will soon start to dissipate. You wouldn't even start like after a while, it's going to start leaving your mind slowly but surely, because you're going to be so fulfilled and content with the new people. And then that is when God may, and that stress may, release the why it had to happen to you. He may tell you, okay, it had to happen because this person had ulterior motives to screw you at the top. It had to happen because if they didn't screw your boyfriend, they were going to screw your husband. It had to happen because if I didn't remove him from your life, he would have stopped beating you and instead blow your head out a year from now. It had to happen because he may tell you and he may not. If he don't tell you, sorry guys, if he don't tell you, you're going to have to be okay with that. Just know that it had to happen. So guys, that isolation season, that dark season, that season of lack, that is probably the most difficult season you will encounter in your life. But it's all designed to weed out the people, to weed out the things. It's not only people. He going to have you start doing some things too. A lot of the people that you hang out with, no more hanging out. Still love them, but you got to pull away. And if you don't, he gonna let them hurt you too. Or just maybe where you grow apart. You just kind of grow apart from each other. Not a bad thing. We're just on two different pages, that's all. But he's gonna stop having you doing some certain things, and you know what some of those things are. You know what it is that you do. We all do something different, but whatever it is, he's gonna stop having you to do those things as well. You're gonna really be like a newborn baby. You're gonna be stripped. You're gonna be naked. You're gonna feel so vulnerable. You're not gonna even know how to ask for help. Your pride is going to be in the way. Like, listen. But the one thing I promise you, the more you seek the message, if you keep asking, okay, God, what it is you need me to hear, what it is you're trying to tell me. When you seek the message and you get your answers and you make the necessary changes, you will shorten that season. But I wish I could sit here and tell you that your season would be His DM is so sickening. I wish I could tell you that your season will be 1 week of hurt, 1 month of hurt, 1 year of hurt, 3 years of hurt. I wish I could tell you that, but we all have different time length, because some of us got more things to clean up than the other. Some of us are stubborn and is not willing to give up what God is telling you to give up. So you can be stubborn all you want, honey, but all you're going to do is push your blessings back. But guys, if you hold on, if you just hold on and keep doing the right thing, again, you will be tempted more than ever. So you got to fight temptation. I don't care what it looks like. If it ain't from God, it's temptation. But I promise you, when you reject that temptation, God will always, always, always come with a new route. Boom. As soon as you say no, as soon as you muster up the strength to turn down the temptation, and he sees that you trust him, boom, he's going to give you something different. Somebody's going to come out the blue and just hand you some money. Somebody's going to come out the blue and just pay a bill. Somebody's going to, just because you trusted him not to touch that temptation. And honey, let me tell you something. When you finally get over that season and he opens that door down to your forever season, because you've conquered that season. You've conquered that season of isolation. Let me tell you something. The blessings going to be so abundant. The new people are going to be so fulfilling. You're going to be on a high, a spiritual high. It's like cloud 9. And it's going to be so good that you can't even remember. Well, let me take that back. I was about to say, you can't even remember the season of isolation. Oh, you're going to always remember it, honey. That's why I'm here telling you about it now, because I remember it. However, my point is, what I meant to say is, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth every betrayal, every heartbreak, every tear you've cried, every time that you had to move pride aside, every time where you fought God, every time you fuss with God, because you conquered, because you didn't give up. Yeah, you grew weary. Yes, you wanted to give up, but you didn't. In your obedience alone, your faith alone, your trust in God alone is what's going to now welcome you to your forever season. You guys have a great one. Comment, let me know. If this video has been a blessing to you, I pray that you will share it with your friends. Comment, let me know, what you're going through and how you plan on making it out. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.